Discover Islam Level 2, Chapter 11, Tafsir of Surah Al-Hamd. Welcome to Discover Islam, Level 2, Chapter 11. In this lesson, we will study the topic, Tafsir of Surah Al-Hamd. Why do we need the Holy Qur'an? We need to read and understand the Holy Book of Allah because of 9 main reasons. First, it is a book of guidance and divine legislation. It is necessary for us in every time and place, providing enlightenment and guidance. As Allah says, "This is the book about which there is no doubt, a guidance for those conscious of Allah." Second, it is a clear proof and manifest light. As it is written, "O mankind, certainly a proof has come to you from your Lord, and we have sent down to you a manifest light." Third, it is the ultimate criterion, Furqan. Almighty Allah says, "Blessed is he who sent down the criterion upon his servant that he may be to the worlds a warner." Fourth, it clarifies the message, goals, and pathways of human beings. Almighty Allah says, "And we have sent down to you the book making everything clear, as a guidance and mercy and glad tidings to those who submit." Fifth, it is a miraculous book, preserved by Allah, challenging both human and jinn to produce anything similar. As it says, "Say, if mankind and the jinn gathered together to produce the like of this Quran, they could not produce it, even if they were to help one another." Sixth, it is a book of divine and comprehensive knowledge. As it claims, "There is not a grain in the darkness or depths of the earth, nor anything fresh or dry, but is inscribed in a manifest book." Seventh, it is a source of salvation and deliverance. As it says, Alif Lam Ra. "This is a book we have sent down to you that you may bring mankind out from darkness into light." Eighth, it cures all spiritual diseases. As it says, "O mankind, there has certainly come to you a direction from your Lord, and a cure for the diseases in your hearts, and a guidance and a mercy for those who believe." Ninth, it will intercede on the day of judgment. The Holy Prophet said, "Learn the Holy Qur'an, for it will intercede for its companions on the day of judgment." Tafsir of Surah Al-Hamd. This is the first chapter of the Holy Qur'an, revealed in Makkah, and it consists of 7 verses. Verse 1,
Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim.
In the name of Allah, the All-Beneficent, the All-Merciful. Verse 2, All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. Verse 3, the All-Beneficent, the All-Merciful. Verse 4, Master of the Day of Retribution. Verse 5, You alone do we worship, and to you alone do we turn for help. Verse 6, Guide us constantly on the straight path. Verse 7, The path of those upon whom you have bestowed your bounties, not the path of those inflicted with your wrath, nor of those gone astray. Titles of the Surah. There are more than 9 titles given to this surah in the Quran and Hadith. Fatihatul Kitab, meaning the opening of the book. Kitab, meaning the basis of the book. Asasul Quran, meaning the foundation of the Quran. Sab'ul Matani, meaning the surah, which has 7 verses and was revealed twice. Al-Wafiyah, meaning full of benefits. Al-Kafiyah, meaning the comprehensive. Ash-Shafiyah, meaning the source of curing. As-Salat, meaning the supplication. Al-Hamd, meaning the praising. Note that the first name, Fatihatul Kitab, indicates that the Quran was already compiled and in the form of a complete book by the Holy Prophet himself. Virtues of the surah. This surah, amongst all surahs of the Quran, has an extraordinary radiance which originates from the following merits and virtues. First, this surah has a unique tone. While this surah is the word of Allah, it has been pronounced by His servants, whereas other surahs are the words of Allah pronounced by Himself. In other words, in this surah, Allah has taught His servants how to supplicate and speak to Him. Second, this is a greatest pride and a magnificent honor for the Holy Prophet, as mentioned in Surah Al-Hijr. Third, this surah is read the most by all Muslims. Fourth, this is a surah which scares shaitan and makes him run away from the reciters. Fifth, this surah carries the maximum reward for its recitation. As Imam Sadiq has said, the reward of its recitation is equal to the reward of the recitation of all holy books revealed by Almighty Allah. It is narrated that the Holy Prophet said, "By the one in whose hand is my soul, Allah has not sent down a similar surah to this surah, neither in the Torah, nor in the Gospel, nor in the Psalms, nor even in the Qur'an, and it is Kitab, which means that it is the basis and origin of all excellence." In fact, besides referring to the resurrection, this surah presents facts concerning the unity of the divine essence, unity of attributes, unity of divine acts, and unity of worship. It is the essence of the whole contents of the Quran. It is narrated from Amirul Mumineen Ali that all secrets of Allah are in divine books, and the contents of all those divine books are comprised in the Quran. And what is found in the Quran is condensed in Surah Al-Fatihah. And what is in Al-Fatihah is gathered in Bismillah, and what is in Bismillah is concentrated in the letter Ba, the first letter of Bismillah. This tradition indicates clearly the importance of both the Holy Qur'an and Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim, in which science and knowledge, from the beginning to the end, is comprised. The interpreter of these sciences is the Holy Prophet, and after him, his true vicegerents, including Imam Ali. Surah Al-Fatihah was revealed to the Holy Prophet as a great bounty. It stands on a par with the whole Quran. As Almighty Allah has said,
وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِّنَ الْمَثَانِي وَالْقُرْآنَ الْعَظِيمَ.
And certainly, we have bestowed upon you the surah of 7 oft-repeated verses and the Grand Quran. This meaning is also referred to in a narration from Amir ul-Mumineen Ali quoting the Prophet's tradition, who said, "Verily, Allah, the Exalted, has bestowed His favors on me particularly for the opening, Al-Fatihah, and has positioned it on a par with the whole Grand Quran. Surely, Fatihat ul-Kitab is the dearest item in the treasures of the throne of heaven." The importance of its recitation. The recitation of this surah, because of its extreme importance, is frequently emphasized in Islamic traditions and narrations. As for its virtue, it is narrated from the Holy Prophet that the reward of any Muslim who recites the surah opening is like that of a person who has recited 2/3 of the Quran, and so much reward would he receive as if he has given every believing Muslim, man or woman, a free will offering. Tafsir of Verse 1. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I seek help with the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. It is a common practice around the world to invoke the name of a revered and beloved figure at the outset of an endeavor, believing that this association enhances the value of the action. Among all beings, only Allah is eternal, and thus every act and initiative should commence with His sacred name. Invoking Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim at the beginning of the Quran is not merely a ritualistic utterance, but a profound act of dedication, aligning the work with divine guidance and protection from deviation. Such work, done in true sincerity and alignment with Allah's will, is destined to be successful and blessed. The Holy Prophet has stated, "Any important work that begins without mentioning Bismillah will remain incomplete." Amir al-Mumineen Ali elaborated further, saying, "For every action that a person wants to do, he or she should recite Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim, which means that he or she begins the action with the name of Allah, and every action that begins with the name of Allah is blessed." Additionally, Ibn Abbas related from the Holy Prophet that when a teacher instructs a child to say Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim and the child complies, Allah grants immunity from fire for the child, their parents, and the teacher. Imam al-Sadiq confirmed, "No holy book ever descended from heaven without beginning with Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim." This phrase teaches us to start every action by seeking help from Allah's pure and perfect essence. The Holy Quran repeatedly emphasizes this, illustrating that every chapter, with the exception of Surah At-Tawbah, begins with Bismillah to guide humanity towards successful and prosperous lives free from defeat. By beginning our endeavors with reliance on Allah, whose power surpasses all, we gain psychological strength, confidence, and the resilience needed to overcome difficulties. This approach purifies our intentions and actions, making the invocation of Allah's name at the start of any task the key to its success. Despite extensive explanations, the depth of Bismillah remains profound, as illustrated by Imam Ali, who spent an entire night explaining just the letter Ba from Bismillah to Ibn Abbas, yet only began to touch upon its vast significance. Is Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim a part of each surah? Shia Muslim scholars are in unanimous agreement that Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim is an integral part of Surah Al-Fatihah and is also included in all other surahs of the Qur'an, with the exception of Surah At-Tawbah, which is chapter number 9. This consistent inclusion across the Qur'an serves as crucial evidence of the unaltered nature of the text, affirming that no additions or deletions have been made since its revelation to the Prophet Muhammad. Muawiyat Ammar, a companion of Imam al-Sadiq, inquired whether he should recite Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim at the beginning of Surah Al-Fatihah during prayers. Imam al-Sadiq affirmed this practice and further clarified that it should also be recited before starting the next surah. This tradition underscores the importance of this phrase in daily prayers and its role as an opening for each surah read. Moreover, the Sunni Muslim scholar Darqutni relayed a discussion involving Amir-ul-Mu'mineen Ali, where it was questioned why Surah Al-Hamd is considered to have 7 verses. Ali clarified that Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim counts as a verse in its own right. The tradition of reciting Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim at the start of each surah, except Surah At-Tawbah, is well preserved in Muslim practice, reflecting its foundational role in the recitation of the Qur'an. This practice is further substantiated by numerous accounts of the Holy Prophet reciting this verse. Additionally, it was confirmed by Amir-ul-Mu'mineen Ali that Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim is indeed part of Surah Al-Fatihah, recognized by the Messenger of Allah himself as one of the verses of the surah, which is collectively known as Sab al-Mathani, meaning the 7 oft-repeated verses. This establishes Bismillah as an essential component of the Quranic fabric, seamlessly integrating into the structure and recitation of the Holy Book. Darqutni, according to a sound document, narrates from Amir-ul-Mu'mineen Ali that someone asked him, "What is As-Sab al-Mathani?" He answered, "It is Surah Al-Hamd." The man said, "Surah Al-Hamd consists of 6 verses." He replied, Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim is also 1 verse. Allah, the most comprehensive name. The letter Ba is used for isti'ana, which means seeking help. The term ism in the phrase Bismillah is derived from sumu, which means height or elevation in Arabic literature. This reflects the idea that naming something elevates its essence, bringing its true nature to light. In the phrase Bismillah, Allah is the most encompassing and complete name among His names. This is because each of Allah's names found in the Holy Qur'an and other Islamic texts represents a specific attribute of His divine nature. The name Allah uniquely refers to all of His attributes of glory and beauty, making it the quintessential descriptor of His essence. This is why other names are typically used as modifiers for the name Allah to highlight specific attributes. For example, in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 226, "Indeed, Allah is all-forgiving, most merciful." In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 220, "Indeed, Allah is almighty, all-wise." Surah Al-Hashr, verses 22 to 24 further illustrate the breadth of Allah's attributes. He is Allah. There is no deity except Him, the knower of the unseen and the visible. He is the most merciful, the most compassionate. He is Allah. There is no deity except Him, the sovereign, the pure, the peace, the faithful, the guardian, the mighty, the compeller, the superior. Exalted is Allah above whatever they associate with Him. He is Allah, the Creator, the Maker, the Fashioner. To Him belong the best names. Whatever is in the heavens and earth exalts Him, and He is the mighty, the wise. The name Allah is all-inclusive, encapsulating all other divine attributes, which is why the declaration of faith in Islam is solely La ilaha illallah, meaning there is no God but Allah. This singular phrase suffices to affirm monotheism in Islam, distinguishing Allah's unique place in Islamic belief. Hence, in other religions, the God of Muslims is distinctively referred to as Allah, signifying the special monotheistic worship that characterizes Islam. Allah's general and specific mercy. The terms Ar-Rahman, meaning the beneficent, and Ar-Raheem, meaning the merciful, are adjectives derived from Ar-Rahman, meaning mercy. Ar-Rahman signifies the general mercy of Allah, which encompasses all creatures, including believers and non-believers, the righteous and the wrongdoers. This universal mercy manifests in the divine bounties of life, enjoyed by all beings as they partake in the sustenance drawn from the blessings that pervade existence. Conversely, Ar-Raheem denotes a specific mercy reserved for the faithful and obedient believers. This mercy is a reward for their genuine faith, good deeds, and active adherence to divine commands, from which non-believers are excluded. The distinction between these terms is evident in their usage within the Qur'an. Rahman is consistently associated with an infinite form of mercy, indicative of its expansive nature. Raheem, however, is used to denote both an infinite and a finite form of mercy, the latter highlighting its exclusivity, such as in chapter 33, verse 43.
وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا.
And He is full of mercy to the believers. This dual aspect of mercy is affirmed by Imam al-Sadiq, who stated, Allah is the God of all things and is beneficent to all His creation, and He is merciful, especially to the believers. Thus, when initiating any action with the phrase Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim, it is crucial to invoke both Allah's general and specific mercy. Interestingly, the attribute of mercy, akin to a gravitational force, has the unique power to draw hearts closer together and foster a profound connection between humanity and the Creator. True believers, upon reciting this verse at the start of their endeavors, detach their hearts from worldly concerns and depend solely on Allah, whose mercy encompasses all existence. It is also understood from Bismillah that Allah's actions are primarily driven by mercy, with punishment being an exceptional measure applied only for justifiable reasons. This understanding is further deepened by the supplication in Joshani Kabir, section 20, which praises, O Lord, whose mercy surpasses His wrath. This emphasizes that divine actions are predominantly merciful rather than punitive. In everyday life, humans are encouraged to prioritize mercy and kindness, resorting to severity only when absolutely necessary. The Holy Prophet beautifully encapsulated this concept, saying, Verily, there are 100 units of Allah's mercy, from which He has sent down to the earth only 1 unit. It is distributed among His creation. All the mercy and affection they have is because of it. He, the merciful, withheld the other 99 units of His mercy for Himself to bestow upon His servants on the day of resurrection. This tradition underscores the vastness of Allah's mercy, a fraction of which sustains the entire world, with the remainder reserved for the ultimate gathering of souls. Tafsir of Verse 2. All praise is dedicated to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. The world is full of His mercy. Upon uttering Bismillah-ir-Rahman-ir-Rahim, our initial duty is to extol the Lord of the worlds for His limitless blessings that encompass us completely. This act serves not only as a guide to recognizing the existence of divine providence, but also as a motivation for expressing our servitude and worship. This response is motivated by a natural human inclination. Upon receiving a gift, one instinctively seeks to thank the giver. This inherent trait encourages individuals to acknowledge and show gratitude, which theologians consider a key motive for expressing thanks to one who bestows favors, guided by human nature and rational thought. Moreover, this act of praise serves as a guide to knowing the Lord and His gifts, as the best and most direct path to recognizing the Creator is through studying the intricacies of creation, particularly how the bounties of life relate to humans. Thus, it is likely for these reasons that Surah Al-Fatihah commences with the words, All praise is only for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. This verse encapsulates the unity of divine essence, attributes, and acts. The phrase Rabbil Alamin, meaning the Lord of the worlds, follows the assertion, providing a rationale for why all praise is due solely to Allah. It answers the implicit question of why all praise should be directed to Allah by stating, He is the Lord of the worlds. Elsewhere, the Quran elaborates on this in Surah As-Sajdah, verse 7.
الذي أحسن كل شيء خلقه وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين.
Allah, who perfected everything which He has created and commenced man's creation from clay. And in Surah Hud, verse 6, there is no moving creature on earth, but its sustenance depends on Allah, and He knows its dwelling place and its deposit. All is in a manifest book. In Arabic, there are two words for praise, Maj and Hamd. While Maj is used for general admiration, such as that of a beautiful house or a car, Hamd is specifically for praising someone for favors done intentionally and willingly, such as acknowledging a generous person. Thus, the term Al-Hamd implies that Allah has created all blessings intentionally and willingly. Interestingly, it is recommended to praise Allah not only at the beginning of all matters, but also at their conclusion, as indicated in Surah Yunus, verse 10. And the close of their cry will be, Surely, the praise is only for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. This continuous cycle of praise reflects the perpetual nature of Allah's mercy and the constant recognition it warrants from humanity. Virtue of the verse. Concerning the virtue of this holy verse, there is a narration from Imam al-Sadiq which says that in a tradition from the Prophet, he has said, when a believing servant says, the praise is only Allah's, the Lord of the worlds, such a praise that befits Him and His rank, the angels are unable to record it. They will be asked by Allah why they did not record the reward of the phrase which the believing servant stated. Then, in response to their not recording the reward, they will ask how it is that they could even understand and estimate the high standard of saying such a phrase which contains the praise befitting and deserving only to Him. Allah, the Exalted, will tell them that they should record the phrase, and it would be for Him to endow the servant with the reward of the praise befitting Him. The term Rab primarily signifies the owner of something who nurtures and enhances it. This designation is uniquely applicable to Allah, and when used for others in Arabic, it is typically in a possessive form, such as Rab ad-Dar, meaning the owner of the house, or Rab as-Safina, meaning the owner of the ship. The inherent meaning of the word suggests the act of raising and training. Additionally, as noted in Majma al-Bayan, the word Rab can also denote an important person whose commands are obeyed, linking back to the same foundational meaning. The term Alamin is the plural of Alam, meaning world. It refers to a collection of entities sharing common characteristics or existing within a common time and place. For instance, we might refer to the world of humans, the world of animals, or the world of plants, as well as distinguishing between the world of the East and the West, or the world of today and yesterday. Thus, when Alam, which implies a plurality on its own, is used in the plural form, it encompasses the entire universe. This broader scope is also apparent in phrases that include other entities, such as Surah Al-Jathiyah, verse 36. Then praise be to Allah, Lord of the heavens and Lord of the earth, Lord of all the worlds. In a dialogue from the Quran, Surah Ash-Shu'ara, verses 23 to 24, Pharaoh said, And what is the Lord of all the worlds? Moses replied, The Lord of the heavens and the earth, and everything between them, if you would be certain. These examples from the Quran illustrate how the term Rab encompasses the comprehensive and nurturing aspect of divine sovereignty over all forms of existence. Tafsir of Verse 3. The most beneficent, the merciful. The terms Ar-Rahman, meaning the beneficent, and Ar-Raheem, meaning the merciful, embody the profound and most significant attributes of Allah, and their detailed explanation was previously covered in the commentary on Bismillah. To reiterate their importance, these attributes are recited at least 30 times daily during the 5 obligatory prayers, twice in Surah Al-Fatihah and once in the subsequent surah we recite. This results in praising Allah 60 times a day for His boundless mercy. This repetitive invocation serves as a vital lesson, encouraging all human beings to embody and practice mercy in their everyday lives and actions. Moreover, it highlights the contrast between the divine treatment of His servants and the harsh ways of tyrants. Historical instances of slavery showcase the cruel treatment that tyrants inflicted on their slaves. In stark contrast, Allah, the Lord of the worlds, consistently reminds us through the Holy Qur'an of His forgiveness and mercy towards those who repent their disobedience. For instance, Surah Az-Zumar, verse 53 states, "Say, O my servants who have transgressed against their own souls, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins, for He is all-forgiving, most merciful." Thus, the inclusion of Ar-Rahman and Ar-Raheem following Rabbil Alamin, meaning the Lord of the worlds, underscores that Allah, despite His absolute power, extends His mercy to all His creation. This divine attribute draws His servants closer, inspiring them to proclaim Ar-Rahman-ir-Rahim, the most beneficent, the merciful, with reverence and hope. Tafsir of Verse 4. Master of the Day of Retribution. Affirmation of the Day of Resurrection. This verse emphasizes another crucial principle of Islam, the resurrection and the hereafter, by declaring Allah as the Master of the Day of Retribution. This highlights Allah's supreme ownership and authority, which stands out distinctly on that day when all humanity will gather before their true and ultimate Master for judgment. It is significant to note that the mastery or ownership of Allah, highlighted here, is unlike any worldly ownership. It is not the temporary or illusory possession we associate with earthly belongings, but a profound, intrinsic ownership of all existence. While Allah is indeed the Lord of the worlds, the concept of His ownership becomes even more pronounced on the Day of Judgment. On that day, all earthly ties and superficial ownerships dissolve, leaving everything under His direct command. Moreover, intercession on that day, if it occurs, happens solely by Allah's will, as emphasized in the Quran. For instance, Surah Al-Infitar, verses 17 to 19, elaborate on the absolute authority of Allah on the Day of Judgment. And what will show you what is the Day of Retribution? Again, what will show you what the Day of Retribution is? It is a day when no soul will be of any avail to another soul, and all command that day will belong to Allah. This starkly contrasts with worldly scenarios where individuals might influence one another through wealth, power, or connections, none of which will bear any significance on that day. Surah Al-Mu'min, verse 16, further underscores this reality. The day when people will emerge from their graves, nothing about them will be hidden from Allah. To whom does the absolute domination belong today? To Allah, the One, the All-Paramount. These verses also address those who question why Allah is specifically referred to as the Master of the Day of Judgment when He is indeed the owner of everything. The Day of Judgment highlights the ultimate manifestation of Allah's authority and ownership, where His ability to reward or punish becomes apparent to all. Believing in the afterlife and the Day of Judgment is fundamental to Islam. It serves as a deterrent against sin, as those without this belief may feel unrestrained to commit immoral acts without fear of divine retribution. Imam Sajjad was known to be so moved when reciting Master of the Day of Judgment that he would nearly lose his life, reflecting the profound emotional and spiritual weight of this belief. The term Yawm ad-Din is mentioned repeatedly throughout the Quran to denote the hereafter, emphasizing that it is a day of recompense where everyone will be judged and receive their due based on their earthly actions. This concept is pivotal not only as a religious belief, but as a moral compass guiding human behavior throughout their lives. Tafsir of Verse 5. You alone do we worship, and of you only do we seek help. Presence before Allah, a shift from praise to petition. This verse marks a pivotal shift in the dialogue with Allah, transitioning from praising His attributes and professing faith in His oneness and the day of resurrection to a more personal engagement. Here, the servant, fortified by a robust foundation of belief, finds themselves directly before Allah, addressing Him intimately. The servant professes, "You alone do we worship, and from you alone do we seek help." This declaration signifies that once the believer internalizes the preceding verse's concepts and illuminates their being with the light of Allah, they transform. This transformation deepens their faith and solidifies their identity as devoted servants, eschewing idolatry and earthly desires, seeking help solely from Allah's essence. The previous verses underscored the unity of essence and attributes, whereas this declaration pertains to the unity of worship and divine acts. First, unity of worship. This asserts our recognition of Allah as the sole entity deserving of worship. We adhere only to His commands and laws, refraining from submitting to any but Him. Second, unity of acts. This recognizes Allah as the singular author of causes. While we engage with the world and its causes, we understand that all effects stem from His will. He imbues fire with heat, the sun with light, and water with life-giving properties. This belief instills a profound reliance on Allah alone, recognizing that all power and authority are His. It raises the believer's spirit to such heights that they see beyond the temporal, as beautifully expressed by Imam Ali. "I worship you neither for fear of hell nor for the desire of paradise, but I found you worthy of worship, and I worshipped you." The social dimension of worship. The plural pronouns used in terms like "we worship" and "we seek help" emphasize that worship, especially prayer, inherently possesses a communal aspect. Even when praying alone, the believer stands among a broader spiritual community, reinforcing that Islam does not condone individualism or selfishness in worship. From the call to prayer, inviting believers to collective worship, to the communal phrases that bookend each prayer, worship is fundamentally social. While individual prayers are valid, communal worship is considered superior, reflecting the social nature of Islamic practices, seeking Allah's help against worldly forces. Daily, we confront various forces, both natural and inherent within us, that can mislead or destroy. Acknowledging our vulnerability, we repeatedly affirm our dependence on Allah for protection and guidance through the verse. "You alone do we worship, and from you alone do we seek help." This verse, recited morning and evening, reaffirms our complete reliance on Allah, shielding us as we navigate life's challenges. This approach ensures that no believer succumbs to tyranny or material temptations. As the Quran states about the Prophet Muhammad in Surah Al-An'am, verse 162, "Truly, my prayer and my service of sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, Lord of the worlds." Thus, the recitation of this surah serves not merely as a ritual, but as a profound source of strength and solution to life's difficulties. Historical anecdotes, such as one from a battle where the Prophet invoked Allah's help under duress, illustrate the power of this verse to sway the course of events, ensuring victory and divine assistance when faced with adversities. This is affirmed by narrations suggesting that reciting this verse in times of trouble facilitates ease and resolution, demonstrating the comprehensive protection and support it offers to the faithful.